What is up, everybody? Good morning. Charlie Marlow here. We're going to get right to it. You see the headline, Cletus McFarland to NASCAR Truck Series, ? Big story breaking last night. Let's give all the credit where it's due. Adam Stern does a really good job, everybody, covering motorsports for the Sports Business Journal. So he had an article last night. He posted it on X, and I was going to go live last night. It was right after the race at Nashville. I was kind of tired, and I'm like, you know what? We'll wake up early. We'll do it on Monday morning. Here's his headline, Adam Stern's. YouTube star Cletus McFarland could drive for prospective Ram NASCAR Truck Series team. How about that? So if you don't know about Cletus McFarland by now, I think you do. Cletus McFarland is just enormous, especially on YouTube. I think he's got 4.4 million subscribers, something like that. I haven't looked recently, but does all these fun videos and races cars and drag races and Crown Vic races. And this dude literally is a superstar, and he's always been into motorsports, and he helped out a ton last year with all of the hurricane relief efforts in North Carolina, and then started to run ARCA races this year. So he's run, 3 ARCA races. He's run the super speedways, then also Charlotte. So he ran Daytona, he ran Talladega, and he ran Charlotte. Had a bit of an issue there in Charlotte, caused a wreck. Also, it's his first year in ARCA. He's learning and all that, but this is huge news. And he's had, 2 top 10 finishes in ARCA in 3 starts. His best finish so far is 9th. And this is his first year in ARCA. But this news is pretty huge on 2 fronts. First of all, you have this superstar, Cletus McFarland. If this is true, by the way, if this report is accurate, which Adam Stern is a very good reporter, but Cletus McFarland would be entering one of NASCAR's top 3 national series for 2026. And then the other cool part of this is that it's going to be with Ram, the Ram brand, which left NASCAR. So Dodge left NASCAR after the 2012 season. And you've probably seen a lot of stories about potentially new manufacturers coming back into NASCAR. And folks wonder, could that be a foreign manufacturer like Honda? Well, here with this particular story, we would have Dodge, we would have the Ram Trucks brand coming into NASCAR for 2026. And basically, I don't want to just plagiarize Adam Stern's article. You guys should all read that. Sports Business Journal. It's a free article. When you click on it, you don't have to go to a paywall or anything. So I'll just read the first sentence. He says, YouTube star and ARCA driver Cletus McFarland could get involved with the prospective new NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series team from Stellantis Ram brand should the automaker complete talks to enter the sport, according to 4 people familiar with the matter and a document seen by the Sports Business Journal. Okay, Cletus McFarland, whose real name is Garrett Mitchell. Apparently, he did not respond to this particular report. I'm sure, if this is going down, they're waiting until all the ink is dry and you dot your I's, you cross your T's. I think this is just a really cool development, though. I really do. And Cletus is so popular, grassroots guy. And if he wants to climb the ladder in NASCAR, if that's truly his goal, and it seems like it is, he's doing ARCA this year. If you were to do trucks in 2026, after that, you could obviously do the Xfinity Series if you wanted to dabble in Cup down the line there. But I think this is the perfect way to do it the right way, to pay your dues, right? To kind of work your way up if that is Cletus's goal. So a lot of you guys watching the live stream here on YouTube, got 173 of you watching. Appreciate that. We will repost it on the Kenny Wallace Media channel. And we'll get to hear some of your comments here. Brian Lakorchik, I don't have any coffee. We'll get some. I already finished my coffee, so I just got water now. Already did the coffee. Let's see. And Mur Diesel says, hell, Cletus already owns a truck. Okay, let's see what else we got here. Scotty Smith says, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. Cletus McFarland in the Truck Series. Daily Sports Report. Good morning, Charlie. Good morning. Brian, again, says, why not? If Frankie Muniz, is it Muniz? Ken, so can Cletus. Frankie Muniz, who, of course, the actor, the famous actor Malcolm in the Middle, running in NASCAR as well. Mer Diesel says, hey, y'all, from a mountain on Taiwan. That's pretty sweet. Send a picture if you can, either here or on YouTube. Let me know. Let's see. Mer Diesel says, yeah, hell, Cletus already owns a truck. LOL. I'm guessing Cletus owns a lot of vehicles, right? Let's see. Scotty Smith says, can he run the Dale truck all season? That would be cool. It'd be interesting to see what the paint scheme will be for this. Bruce Sumner says, let him stay in ARCA and get some experience before moving up. So that's a fair point, but what do you think, Bruce, and all you guys? I want to put the question out to you. So if he continues to run ARCA this year, if he ends up running, I don't even know what his schedule looks like. I think I heard he was going to run Bristol, right? So if he runs, let's say 4, 5, 6, whatever that number is of ARCA, you guys don't think that's enough experience with his motorsports background to enter the Truck Series next year? Let's also be honest about the Truck Series. And I say this with all due respect. The last several years, let's be real, folks, the Truck Series has been a bleep show in terms of just drivers running over each other, not respecting each other. I mean, we're talking all the way down to the championship race, right? And you let me know. I'll be the first one to admit I don't watch a ton of Truck Series, but I remember a couple of years ago at the championship at Phoenix where Tony Stewart and everybody, they were just running over each other on every final restart. And a lot of people think, look, I'm not saying you need all the old school drivers, but if you had maybe some more veteran drivers to kind of teach the young bucks how to race, would the NASCAR Truck Series look better? Would the racing be cleaner, more respectful? What do you guys think? I don't know, though. Bruce, to your point, I think if Cletus were to run several ARCA races this year, he's already run 3, I would think he's ready for the move up. We've sure seen a lot of people with lesser motorsports background. Remember, I mean, he is a YouTube sensation, but this guy drives everything. I mean, he drives every type of vehicle, flies a helicopter, and it's obvious too that he takes this serious, right? I mean, he's fun, he's good for business, but he's also taking this sport seriously. And I think he does, and he's earning the respect of the garage. And I think a lot of the drivers, a lot of the Cup drivers love this dude and do content with him. And I think he'd want to do it the right way and move his way up. And I think the Truck Series is obviously the natural progression here. And then if Ram comes into the fold, that's pretty cool, adding another manufacturer. Let's see. Mer Diesel says, what Cletus and the Greg Biffle, did with the Cajun Navy in North Carolina and the Appalachian Mountain area is nothing short of amazing. Absolutely. Could not agree more. Let's see. And he says, I flew back and could not even land in Asheville, but Greenville, South Carolina. Brian says, I'm currently sitting in Edinburgh, Indiana, about 30 miles south of Indy. I'm here in St. Louis, Missouri, baby, home of the big one. The Desert Dweller says, if I were Cletus, I'd concentrate on bringing NASCAR back to DeSoto, a.k.a. the Freedom Factory. And Brian says he has his own track to practice on. Yeah, I just feel like this is just a natural progression. I think this is a home run if it goes down. Again, if you're just joining us, Adam Stern Report, Sports Business Journal, saying that Cletus McFarland in talks to run the NASCAR Truck Series 2026 with I don't want to say new manufacturer, an older manufacturer coming back into the sport if this is the case, which would be Ram Trucks. Dodge left NASCAR back in 2012, about 13 years ago. Let's see. The Truck Series would be the cheapest to enter. No Dodge engine, just have to build a nose. The Dale Earnhardt number 3 Dale truck. Yeah, it'd be cool if they do some cool paint schemes. You got to think too, look, Dale Earnhardt Jr. does a lot of content with Cletus. They're buddies. They were running that truck at Talladega. You have so many great opportunities for sponsorship with Cletus. He brings so many eyeballs to the sport. And in a way, I'm not saying he's bigger than NASCAR, right? NASCAR is $1 billion business. But from a media standpoint, especially on YouTube, he is bigger than NASCAR. I haven't looked recently, but I think NASCAR had something like 1.1 million. I'll look right now. Because why not? We're live. We're having fun. Let's see here. NASCAR on YouTube. And I do pay more attention to YouTube. Hey, we're here on YouTube. Okay. NASCAR has 1.48 million subscribers on YouTube right now. Boom. And I think Cletus has about 4 million more, or 3 million more, I should say. So NASCAR, there you go. NASCAR has 1.48 million. Cletus has 4.39 million. So we're talking dang close to 3 times the following on YouTube. And I know he's big on Instagram and all that too. I don't know all the different platforms, to be honest with you. I'm more on X, and I feel like Cletus's profile is not as, I feel like he doesn't do X as much as he does Facebook and Instagram and obviously YouTube. And I get that. We're kind of the same way on the Kenny Wallace YouTube channel, where for monetization, X is not the preferred platform in terms of putting your content out there. Okay, Jim Doyle says Cleet has over 150 vehicles. Yeah, I didn't know the exact number, but I knew it was a lot. So let's see. Garrett has the talent to drive anything if he gets the reps. That's from Bill L. Yeah, I agree. I think this is great. I think it's great if it goes down. Muir Diesel saying he could straddle ARCA and the Truck Series. Can he run the Dale truck? It's a 4-wheel drive drag truck. You kidding me? I don't think they meant the actual truck. I meant like the scheme. He could have fun with the schemes and all that. Cletus is the godfather of Crown Vic Racing. Jim Doyle, Cleet is a natural wheelman. Full-time ARCA next year with select truck races. Okay. Yeah, I don't know the exact schedule. I'm just reacting to the article I saw last night. NASCAR needs Cletus. I know Kenny Wallace also, who's on vacation, by the way. He's in Cabo. He is going to do Herman Trader this week. So I know Kenny and Cletus are talking. I know Cletus invited Kenny to do one of his races in Indy, but Kenny at the time was on the Kyle Petty charity ride. So I know they're touching base. I know Cletus wants Kenny, and Kenny wants to do one of his races. I know that Kenny obviously wants him on the Kenny Conversation, which hopefully happens here soon in the next several months. NASCAR needs Cletus. You know, I think it certainly helps, right? I don't want to say NASCAR needs Cletus, Cletus needs NASCAR. To me, it's just a great relationship for both. I think they both help each other. It's all good, right? It's all good. I'm guessing most of you who are fans of NASCAR, a lot of you fans of Cletus, and I know this because I run this channel. I post all the videos. I see all your comments. I try to see all your comments. It's almost impossible because we have so many comments, and I say that as a compliment because our channel has grown so much. It's not as big as Cletus's, but we have 132,000 subscribers, so we get a ton of comments. So I try to see if I can all of them and comment and like and all that. And again, I'm saying this for the 8th time, but I've seen so many people, not just young people, older folks, older NASCAR fans who said, I love NASCAR, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever it was. I kind of gave up on NASCAR for whatever reason in the 2000s, mid-2000s, when Dale Sr. died. Maybe your favorite driver retired, whether it was Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Jeff Gordon, whatever it is. Maybe you didn't like NASCAR and some of the things that they did in terms of stage racing and the playoff format and some of the kind of social stuff. Maybe it was too expensive for you. Maybe you feel like they drove the grassroots fan out of the sport and they were favoring some different tracks and some new markets, which I think NASCAR is trying to remedy. It's obvious. They're trying to fix that. But my point is, I have seen dozens, if not hundreds of comments of people saying that Cletus has brought those people back to watching ARCA and they hadn't watched NASCAR in years. So, I mean, you can only elevate that if it's trucks and then go on down the line if it ends up being Xfinity, Cup, down the road, whatever it is. So Farmer and Sons Garage says, I think he's already better than many drivers in the Truck Series, and he can bring viewers and sponsors to the series too. Right. And I'm not trying to make this an apples to apples comparison, but I remember, and we're talking about from a name standpoint. I remember Hailie Deegan saying when she was in the Truck Series, when she was in the Xfinity Series, and I know she didn't have good results. And again, I'm not saying that Hailie Deegan is Cletus McFarland or vice versa. That's not what I'm saying. But I remember her citing statistics and ratings that when she was in, whether it was trucks or Xfinity, the ratings, the impressions did go up. She is bringing a different fan base to racing. Cletus is bringing a different fan base to racing or back to racing. So Jackie McClung says Cletus needs to win an ARCA race. Okay. Do you feel like he needs to win an ARCA race before he goes trucks? Dodge is like, we have a marketing opportunity here, guys. Absolutely. For sure. I mean, Cletus marketing wise is freaking gold. We all know that. We all get that. ARCA ain't as easy as Cletus makes it look. Yeah, Cletus is obviously very talented, for sure. Mir Diesel, he is hungry and living the dream. Ken Ruggles says, I think trucks would be a downgrade. He would be fine in Xfinity. Well, I think you kind of have to move up the progression. I feel like that's the way to go. Again, I feel like he wants the respect of the garage, and I think he already has that, and I think it's growing. Right? He had his first kind of issue, I think it's fair to say, in Charlotte. His team put him out there, spun his tires. It happens. It happens to the best drivers. It happens to all drivers, and he's going to go through that, and he's going to take his lumps. It happens to every freaking driver out there. It happens to the best drivers on earth. I mean, look at Kyle Larson, the Indy 500 spinning out. And Kyle Larson, I think most agree, is probably the most talented race car driver in the world, or right up there. It is refreshing to see fun in racing again, Mir Diesel. Real seat time comes from the Cars Tour or the Mod Tour. I think he'll try to run everything. But I mean, let's be real. NASCAR is the show, right? Cletus is the show. NASCAR is the show. It's a perfect marriage. All right. We won't go too long here. Excuse me. Wayne Kerr says, money buys everything. This is the new era in racing. Money over talent. I don't think that's fair, though. I think, look, it's not just money. I mean, Cletus has money, but he's helping NASCAR make money. And Cletus also has talent. And I think he'll only get better as he moves up and gets more seat time. Mir Diesel, Freedom Factory as the opener, near Daytona, plenty of parking, and better weather. How about that? Bruce Sumner, I agree with all your points. Just needs to slow down and take his time. Let's see. His schedule would have to change immensely to run the Truck Series on a full-time basis. Yeah, so in this article, again, excuse me. All right. Sorry about that. I think I cleared my throat. For the last time, I didn't see in this article if it was going to be full-time. And again, this is an article from Sports Business Journal, Adam Stern. He would drive for a prospective Ram NASCAR Truck Series team. Let's see. It says, Stellantis is said to be likewise initially looking to re-enter the sport through the Truck Series as soon as next year, though nothing has been announced. Okay. Let's see. Ram. Let's see. So catchfence.com in February first identified Ram as submitting an application to rejoin the series in 26. As I said earlier, Honda is also said to be eyeing a potential entry into NASCAR, though the timing of that is less clear. So is it both going to happen next year? Who knows? Could you have two new manufacturers or a new one and an old one coming back? Could you have Honda and Ram coming to NASCAR in the next couple of years? We shall see. At the bottom of this article, they talk about Cletus's impact and his social media following. So here we go. 4.4 million subscribers on the YouTube, 2.6 million followers on Facebook, and nearly 600,000 on TikTok. As I said, and I get it, because I'll be honest with you folks, there's really not a lot of value of posting your content on X, especially for monetization. You make way more money on YouTube. YouTube is by far the best platform for monetization. Facebook's okay. But then also, I mean, look, posting your content on any social media, there's also tremendous sponsor value. Also, just if you have sponsors to see those sponsor logos on all the videos. But yeah, 4.4 million subscribers on YouTube for Cletus. Remember, NASCAR has a little less than 1.5 million. And Cletus, a.k.a. Garrett Mitchell, has 2.6 million followers on Facebook and nearly 600,000 on TikTok. There you go. All right. I'll tell you what. How about Tony Stewart, the truck owner? Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be interesting? If you're bringing some heavyweight names in there, Cletus McFarland is a heavyweight name. Could you have more star-studded celebrity type team owners, or at least minority owners, right? In terms of, they might not be the majority owner, but they have a piece of it and they help bring value to the ownership group, kind of like Pitbull was for Trackhouse for a few years there, right? Frank Rice, the day Dale died, NASCAR died also. I get that, but don't you feel like, I mean, that's 24 years ago. What do you think of the Dale documentary, by the way? I've watched about 2.5 episodes. It is fantastic. Fantastic. Let's see. Noah Mielke. If Ram does indeed join the series, what new team could join and what existing team could switch over? There you go. You have that as well. Tanja Kangas. It feels like one of those names where I read it and then it's one of those things they're trying to get you with something inappropriate. Though Cletus is a character he created, it works because he is genuine. Agreed. If he was fake, it would not work. I get that 100%. Tony Stewart and Cletus McFarland are pretty close too. That's from Jackie McClung. Yeah. Tony ran at that race in Indy a couple weeks or a month ago, whenever that was. Preston Pichek says, got to get him in the announcer's booth also. Yeah, he's good for business all around. On the track, in the booth. Let's see. Solar DIY hobby and reviews. Cletus runs for president on beer debt forgiveness. I love that. All right. Let's shut her down. Look, I got to shut her down anyway because we're going to record Herman Schrader in about 35 minutes. So I got to send the invites to Kenny Wallace and Ken Schrader. Happy birthday, 70th birthday to Ken Schrader. Last, Thursday, May 29th, he turned 70. My birthday is May 28th. I get it. Nobody cares. And then Ken Schrader's birthday, May 29th, celebrating his 70th birthday. We put a video out there from Kenny where he said just some very nice things about his old buddy, Ken Schrader. So there you go. And we'll end on this real quick. I was going to maybe do another live stream later, but I'm not sure if I will. Nashville, I'll just give you my quick breakdown. Nashville, first of all, I think Prime is excellent. I think Prime elevates every race. I didn't think this was a great race. Couldn't pass. All the drivers said that, but best car won. I think Ryan Blaney, obviously pretty popular. And Ryan Blaney had terrible luck this year, despite running up front, leading laps. Should have had a win earlier, all kinds of crazy issues. So the best car won. Amazon Video, I think, elevates the broadcast. I think Night Race looks cooler on TV. However, couldn't pass. All the drivers said that the fastest cars couldn't even pass lap traffic. NASCAR's got to work on that, especially that this is one of those intermediates. What is it, 1.3-ish miles, whatever it is. Typically with the next gen, the racing is really good on the intermediates, especially most of the 1.5 mile tracks. So I looked at Jeff Gluck's poll, and I think it was like, I'll check it real quick. I think it was like 2/3 said bad race, 1/3 said good race. I'll find it for you here. And I even think that's a little high in my opinion. I want to hear from you guys. Yeah, here it is. I said no. Maybe I'm being a hater. Was Nashville a good race? 67%. Oh, crap. I was totally wrong. I take that back. I thought it was flipped. 67% said yes. Maybe I'm being a hater. Okay, I was totally wrong on that. I thought it was flipped. I looked at it this morning, and I must have been sleepy. Okay, so look, 67% said yes. What do you think? Do you guys agree with that? Again, I think a lot of things, as I mentioned, make the viewing on TV stronger. Prime is legit. Night Race, Ryan Blaney wins, Burnout, pre-race coverage, post-race coverage is great. Dale Jr.'s on it, Carl Edwards. But from a racing standpoint, I didn't think the racing was that great. You had that stretch there where you could see Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Ryan Blaney going toe for toe for a little bit there. But overall, I didn't think the racing was great. But look, I'm clearly in the minority here. Yeah, I read that wrong. I apologize. So, hey, look, maybe I'm the negative Nelly. What do you guys think? Good, bad, indifferent? Okay, Kenny needs to get on there. By the way, yes, again, Kenny will be on for Herman Schrader. We'll tape it here in about 30 minutes. That'll come out Wednesday. on podcast and YouTube, Dirty Mo Media Podcast, Kenny Wallace YouTube channel. We got Robin Pemberton, obviously famous crew chief, worked for NASCAR. That's coming out on Thursday on Dirty Mo Media Podcast and the Kenny Wallace YouTube channel. There we go. All right. We're going to shut her down. Charlie Marlow signing off. Thank you so much for joining us, all of you guys. Will it happen? Cletus McFarland to the NASCAR Truck Series in 2026 with a manufacturer coming back to the sport in Ram trucks. That would be pretty awesome. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We'll see you later. Love you all. Peace out. End stream. Do it for Dale. See ya.